Good morning, everybody. It's about 9:21 a.m. here. Been a while since I did a video, but I have my reasons, and I'm going to talk about them today. As you will see from the title, yes, I had a colonoscopy. The whole journey of the colonoscopy. About 6.5 months ago, I turned 46 in July of this year. And my insurance company, it's kind of weird. It's very proactive health-wise, where it goes, he just turned 46. He just did this. He did that. Don't you want to do this now? Don't you want to do that now? Generally, I say no. So I wasn't paying much attention. And next thing I know, I'm getting this little packet in the mail that was supposed to be colon cancer screening test. And I'm like, I'm not messing with this. I didn't pay much attention at first because I didn't really know what it was for until I looked it up, and I was like, okay, how do I do this then? Oh, you take a sample of your own fecal matter and mail it to this place in this kit. Oh, hell no, I'm not handling my own fecal matter. No, I'm not doing that. So, that was in August. I threw that thing away after a month because I was like, I'm not fucking with this shit. Literally. So in October, I go in for my usual 3-month checkup with my doctor. And she says, hey, did you receive a test kit in the mail for colon cancer? Yeah, but I ain't mess with that shit. That's nasty. She says, well, you're right around the age you need a colonoscopy. Okay. I just literally said, okay. I had no idea what all the colonoscopy entailed. Yeah, got sniffles. And so I thought, colonoscopy, that's like a prostate exam, isn't it? Well, somebody in a few weeks, I'll have somebody sticking a finger up my ass, checking my prostate. Okay, fine. No problem there. No problem there whatsoever. She said, okay, I'll set you up for it and everything else. About a week and a half later, I'm getting this text message saying, you need to come pick up something from your pharmacy. What? Huh? I don't know what this is, but okay. So after putting it off for 2 or 3 days, because I thought it was a mistake or something, I finally went and got it. Big ass jug. I'd say like a 1.5 gallon jug with powder in the bottom. I'm like, what is this? Okay. I had no idea what it did. So it's sitting up there on my kitchen table for days and days on end. And then I figure out, wait a minute, this has something to do with the colonoscopy, doesn't it? I guess so. Well, nobody's called me up giving me an appointment for the colonoscopy. Okay, well, so it's just sitting there, and it's just sitting there. A month passes, a month and a half, and after a while, I'm like, okay, look, let me just put this, because it's taking up space on the table, put it in one of the cabinets in the kitchen, and just leave it sitting there. I'm like, well, maybe they'll never call me. Then I'll never have to go through whatever this stuff is. Okay. So, December finally hits. Make it through all that rigmarole through Christmas. And right after Christmas, 2 days after Christmas, I get a phone call. Hey, we want to set up this thing for you. Where have you guys been for the last 3 months? Oh, well, we have over 2,000 referrals. We get around to you when we can. Okay. Does this have anything to do with this bottle of Galva whatever that I got from my pharmacy a few weeks ago? Yes. Hold on to that for right now. You'll have to drink all of it later. What? Yeah, you have to drink all that. You have to be ready for the colonoscopy. Oh, crap. Thinking back, I was like, I've heard somebody talk about this before somewhere. I said to myself, okay. So they scheduled me to have the colonoscopy on the 9th of January, Tuesday. Now, at this point, 5 days ago. 5 days ago. Jesus Christ. So I'm getting nervous because as they talk to me more, basically, they call me up another time and they talk to me about the whole process. They're also going to send me something in the mail, which is basically instructions for drinking the gabalite. And she explains to me that, yeah, basically it's considered a surgical procedure because they have to put you on anesthesia. Because I guess sticking a camera and a probe all the way up your ass is not something you really want to be awake for. I don't blame them. I don't think I'd want to be awake for that shit either. There's going to be a lot of puns here. So it's just driving me up the wall with nervousness because I'm like, oh God, how inconvenient is this going to be? Very inconvenient, apparently. So I get the stuff in the mail, and it indicates that the day before the procedure, I have to start drinking the gabalite. They're also going to call me up the day before the procedure to tell me what time I'm supposed to come into I guess it's called the ambulatory surgery center. And I'm sitting up here and I'm like, you're not going to tell me the time I'm supposed to come in for this medical procedure until less than 24 hours before the medical procedure. This doesn't make any fucking sense to me, I'm thinking. But I keep up with the instructions and everything else. And I just like, well, I just have to wait until the 8th. Just have to wait till the 8th. On the 8th, I also have scheduled another doctor's appointment, another 3-month follow-up. So I go in, and I'm just, by this point, my nerves is fucking racked as hell, because I'm like, oh God, why didn't I think this through? Why didn't I put this off? But it's for men's health in a lot of ways, people health in general. So on the 8th, I go in for my doctor's appointment right around 2 p.m. Get there, do the whole thing, and she's like, yeah, you need to go home and start drinking that gabalite right away. And then you just need to stay home because you're going to need to be around the bathroom the whole time. I'm like, oh, God. And the instructions that I got in the days before also said I needed to buy laxatives. So I had actually gotten some laxatives around the 3rd because I was like, yeah, I'm going to need this, you know. So I bought some Dulcolax, and Dulcolax pills are really small. So get back home. Now the instructions say I shouldn't start drinking until 4 p.m. But I'm like, man, fuck that shit. There we go again. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start drinking now. I'd already eaten something for breakfast. I hadn't eaten anything for lunch. And I was like, well, whatever. Let's just get to it. I called up the procedure place again. This lady who does scheduling and stuff like that. And she told me, yeah, here's how the instructions work and here's what you have to do. Called up my mom and talked to her as well because I was like, Mom, you're going to have to take me to this surgery. I told her that days ago. And then she says, okay, call me when they give you a schedule. Because she'd been through this before. So I called her up and told her what time it was. It was going to be 8 a.m. 8 a.m. 8 o'clock in the morning I needed to be there. So, start drinking the gabalite. And I already know I'm hungry, but it says you can't eat anything solid. So, I'm like, okay, so I'm just supposed to drink my way through this hunger. I didn't really want to do that, but I didn't see myself as having much of a choice. So, by about 8 p.m., I'm drinking. I've been drinking ever since 3:30. Because this is a 1.5 gallon jug. So I've got this big ass cup of well, no, not a cup. Basically, think of it as what they used to call them. I don't know, either way, it basically had a little cap on it. It's like something if you were jogging, you were drinking water as you're jogging. Yeah, that type of thing. Have one of those, and I'm just filling the thing up, drinking. I can't drink anymore. Drink some more later on, just doing that all day. By 8 p.m., I'm hungry and I'm getting irritated because I'm a diabetic and I'm checking my blood sugar. I'm like, shit, man. Because I hadn't taken any medication in 2 days in anticipation for this. I take Ozempic, and I was and I didn't take Ozempic on on Sunday of that week like I usually do, because it said in the instructions, don't take Ozempic or this or this or this. So I was like, okay, just don't take anything. It's not worth the risking of getting this out of the way. So, checking my blood sugar, it's okay. So I'm like, man, I'm just hungry. Well, I can only eat or consume clear liquids. I don't have any soups that will fit the bill, which is weird because I went out over the last week and a half and bought cans of New York clam chowder, which is my favorite, and chicken noodle soup. And now I can't drink any of it. I can't eat any of it. So I was like, well, I'm fucked. What am I going to do? So 8 p.m. I says, oh, I got a great idea. I'll go out and I'll get some egg drop soup from a Chinese restaurant. So called in that order, went to go get it about 10, 15, 20 minutes later, got the egg drop soup, come back home. I barely put 3 or 4 spoonfuls in my mouth before I'm like, I'm not really hungry now. All this damn Gabalite I'm drinking, it's actually sitting on my stomach. So, wasted $5. I don't have much money to begin with. So I'm like, well, okay. Just keep drinking the Gabalite. Maybe a few more spoonfuls of egg drop soup on occasion. That didn't happen. It's just keep drinking the Gabalite. Stomach feels a little crampy and weird. 9 o'clock, 9:30, boom, finally hits. I'm heading to the bathroom. Every time I turn around. At first it's every 15 minutes, then it's every 30 minutes, then it's maybe once an hour. And I'm sitting there, I'm starting to get spooked again because I'm like, I'm not really doing anything, you know. I'm go to the restroom, sit down, go to the bathroom, sit down, get on that toilet. Water. It's just water. With a little bit of whatever else, you know. Water pours out. And I'm like, peeing from my rear end. I used to think girls did that when I was a kid. Girls pee out of their rear end. So this goes on for the rest of that night. Thank God Hard Bastard was on. Because I couldn't have gotten through it without him. I'll be honest with you. Because I was sitting there, I was going, oh God, what am I going to do? And to make matters worse, it got kind of rough down there. Because you keep wiping. And you have to wipe. You can't just, get up off the toilet. So you got to keep wiping. So it got kind of irritated and raw back there. But what else can you do? So I wish I had thought of going out and getting some wet wipes and stuff at the time, but I was so worried about going out somewhere and having to go to the restroom that I was like, well, I'll just have to suffer through. So by the time HB got done, I think it was about 2 a.m. or 1:30 a.m., 1 a.m., I'm still up and I'm still drinking this stuff. Not eating anything else, just drinking it. Because that's the only thing you can consume after 12 a.m. So, I'm just sitting here drinking that. And my doctor had already warned me, and my mom had said the same thing. You just may as well just stay up all night. So, right around 2 a.m., I finally went to bed. And I literally just laid up in that bed every 30 or 40 minutes. Sometimes at least every hour. Get up, do my thing, come back and lay down. I usually sleep naked, but man, I got on underwear because I'm like, man, if I go to sleep somehow, I do not want to leak all over this bed, and that's just nasty, I'm thinking. So I just keep getting up every 30 minutes to an hour. Every 30 minutes to an hour. I don't sleep at all. I think I maybe dozed off around 5 a.m. Woke up right at 6 a.m., 6:30, knew that my alarm was going to go off soon. And my mom was already saying she was going to come pick me up around 7 a.m. And I'm like, Mom, we don't have to be there till 8. And I know where we're going. She's like, oh, well, traffic could be bad. All sorts of things could happen. So you want to get out early? I'm like, okay. So I get up and get dressed. And we were having a torrential downpour of rain. It had started last night, and it started going strong early in the morning. So the ground was soaked by the time I stepped outside. My mom, she rolled up and honked her horn, and I was still kind of getting everything done around the house, like whenever you go in for a medical procedure, there's 2 or 3 things I like to have done. Trash is dumped, everything is organized in the house, because when you come out of that surgery, you're not going to feel like doing shit when you get home. So I was preparing in the same way, but I already knew that I was going to come home afterwards, because my mom was talking about, oh, you can come stay with us afterwards. No. I was like, nah, I'm just going to go home. So my mom had to pick me up and take me there, because they had already said to me over the phone several times that since you're going to be under local anesthesia, you're going to be under anesthesia, they don't want you driving the whole day. So somebody has to pick you up, carry you to the procedure, and carry you home afterwards. So my mom, she's in her 70s. It's still dark out. She's practically up on the steering wheel driving. And she's saying she's not scared. She's just cautious. And I'm like, Mama, you're scared. I'm thinking. I don't say anything. We're using the GPS to go to someplace I already know to go. She misreads the GPS a little bit and gets off on a side road. And I'm like, Mama, pull over here, because I know where we're going. So I end up driving myself to my doom. And on the way there, yeah, it's pouring down rain, and we're on the highway, and I know she doesn't like that, but there's no other choice to get there as soon as possible, because we were already minutes late. We were already minutes behind because we had gotten off on this wrong road. So I'm driving through, and she's like, slow down. Like, Mama, I'm not going that fast. You need to drive for conditions. Mama, it's not that bad out here. But okay, you're right. Don't argue with her. She's right. In this case, I kind of felt she was. I was just like, you know what? We're going to get there. We got enough time. But I knew exactly where we were going without the GPS. Because I used to go to this place when I had an endocrinologist years ago. So I memorized how to get there. So we get to we call them hospital parks, or medical center parks. Whereas basically it's a hospital, and then all these other doctors' offices and stuff, and specialist offices scattered about. Get in there, walk in the door, we got 8 minutes before we were supposed to be there. I'm thinking, oh man. So I signed some paperwork. Yeah, they made me sign paperwork again. Went and used the bathroom. Oh, that didn't feel good when I had to wipe. Did not feel good at all. But they call us in about 10-15 minutes after 8 o'clock. Go into the back area. And for any of you who've been in a surgery, waiting for surgery area, they just put you in a gown and everything else. And you lay up on a bed and they get ready to cart you off to the surgery area. I've been through this before. Still kind of nervous about it. Went and used the bathroom once and then said, after this, I'm not using the bathroom more. Put me in a bathrobe and put me in a robe that I couldn't even tie the back together. So it's just like, all right, once you put on the robe, you're done. You just got to lay up there on this bed. My mom's back there with me and everything. So, everybody steps out and closes the little curtain and everything while I'm putting on this robe, and it's frustrating as hell because I'm like, man, I got to tie this up in the back. And then I thought about it. It's like, wait a minute, I know what they're going to do. So there's no use in tying this thing on the back. Just lay down on the bed. Had a nice, comfy, sort of wool, thick cotton cover to put over me. So that was comfortable. Made me feel a little bit better. Waited another 10-15 minutes. We called up my dad. And told my dad, yeah, Dad, we're here now. They're going to be taking me to surgery and everything soon. And he's like, okay. And I did ask my mom, why didn't he come too? She's like, your daddy, this is not a good place for him to be. He does not like this. I'm like, yeah, I know. I knew why. Overall, but I guess I just felt I had to ask. So they come to get me and they take me into the procedure room. They had already put an IV in my left hand because that was the best place to get up. They could find veins in there real easy. And I'd given blood about a week and a half ago for labs. And the poor young lady, she was trying to find it in my arm and everything else. And I'm like, you know what? Just try my left hand, see if you can find a vein there. And she found one real quick. So I was just like, you put it in my left hand again. So it's a little painful and irritating, I will admit. Now that I think it was my right hand or my left hand. Either way, doesn't matter. Wheeling me around into the procedure room. 3 white women. I have nothing against white people. Don't get me wrong, anybody. 3 white women. All of them, I'd say, my age or older. I know one of them would look like she was in her late 50s. I'm like, Jesus Christ, why are you still working at this age? So they give me some oxygen, and they put this little thing in my nose. That's it. And they're just talking to me, and kind of, they're like, breathe deep, breathe deep. I'm like, okay. And they're talking to me, and they're like, oh, well, how's your day been? I was like, you know. And then they put into my IV, I guess, the anesthesia. And then the next thing I remember, I was breathing deep, and then the next thing I remember, I'm waking up back in the surgery recovery area. I'm like, oh, hey, Mom, how long have I been asleep? Oh, about 20 minutes. How long was the procedure? A little over 15, 20 minutes. Okay. All right. Did they find anything? She says, I think they found 1 polyp. Nurse comes by. Oh, hey, you're awake. I was like, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. She says, you want something to drink? I know you're thirsty. I was like, yes, very thirsty. So she gave me a ginger ale and I asked her, what all did y'all find? Found 1 polyp, and we removed it. We don't know if it's cancerous or not. We'll find out. Okay. So after drinking a little bit more and 20 minutes, about a total of 15, 20 minutes, I was like, Mama, call up Dad. I want to get something to eat. I'm hungry. She's like, okay. So I want Dad to sit and eat with us. I don't know why it felt so important. It just did. So she calls up Dad and says, yeah. And he's like, yeah, okay, I'll meet you guys here. So we went to Cracker Barrel. So I remember we got up, and I was still waiting for this memory loss thing to happen because it's happened to me before. When I went to surgery for trigger finger, there's parts of after the surgery I don't remember. It's just gone. It's not there. So I was sitting here waiting. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna totally forget all of this at some point, right? Right? It's gonna be a blur. My mom goes and gets the car. I'm already up and dressed and head outdoors. Get in the car. We head all the way to Cracker Barrel and Dunkin', because that's where we're gonna meet my dad. Dad gets there. We sit in the parking lot for a little bit because it's still pouring down rain like crazy. And we wait for my dad for about 10 minutes. He pulls up, and then we all go inside. Sit down there and eat. And I remember my dad just kind of being distracted. He's got dementia, so onset of it. And he was just kind of there, but not there. Seemed constantly distracted. So I was going to get up and pay for my food. I actually went and used the bathroom twice while I was there. Oh, yeah, that stuff sticks with you no matter what. It does. That Gavilac sticks with you. So I went to the bathroom twice. We sat down and ate. And I had French toast and eggs and sausage. My mom and dad ate off the same plate. That's just something they do. So about 30 minutes later, and we can still hear it pouring down rain outside real bad. And Mom was like, oh man, we're going to have to get on the highway or something. I'm not sure. I was like, oh, Mama, I got a way to get us back. Because I know that area of town pretty well. So I know how to get back to my place without getting on the freeway at all. So now I can't drive. So I have to show my mom step by step how to get there. There's no way to do it on the GPS. So my mom gets me back home. By this point, it's a little after 11 o'clock. I'm not hungry or anything, but I stay up for another hour. I smoke a cigar, check things online. I already know I'm going to go to sleep because I'm like, I didn't sleep all night. I may as well sleep for a few hours. So lay down around 12:30, still having to use the restroom a couple of times too. And I wake up around 3 o'clock. in the afternoon. I'm like, damn, I didn't really get any sleep, did I? I expected to sleep till 6 p.m. or something. So the rest of the day is just me piddling around the house, using the restroom on occasion. There's just nothing else to do. There's just nothing else to do. And I can't drive. I actually got to a point where I was like, man, let me go start up my car and I'm going to go drive over here to do something. And whatever it was, I don't know what it was, but in my mind, I was like, wait a minute, no, you can't drive. Damn it. So I didn't drive. Stayed up until 2 a.m. and just went to sleep at around 2. Woke up around 7 a.m. Went about my day. I actually drove somewhere to get some stuff. I went to I had medications that had just come in. So I went to I went to CVS, got all of my medications. I got a new version of Ozempic called Muanjin. I'm like, is this Japanese or something? I don't know. But my doctor put me on that because my A1C, she says, your A1C is 7.8 or something like that. You need to get this under control. Okay, you're right. She's right. So after getting that and one other thing, I went to Walmart and I'm like, okay, wet wipes. Needed. Because even I'm still kind of just peeing from my rear end at this point. I really am. And I'm like, I need something gentle back there. So got some wet wipes too. And just did my, rest of the day is just sitting around the house. Because I'm like, I don't feel like doing anything. I really just don't. I feel like I'm still recovering. And I was. I still had all of my memory from that time. But it felt like a daze. I could remember at some point during the day, during the night, I remember I'd been kind of in a daze. Everything was just kind of chuckling, and I was like, And then at some point, it's just like I snapped out of it. I was like, man, I was kind of in a daze for a little bit, wasn't I? What's going on? Still had all my memories, but it was just like the anesthesia finally wore off completely, and the side effects were just, you're going to be kind of in a daze. Now I'm not. It made a lot of sense as to why I couldn't drive. So I was like, man, I could have effed up somehow. But since then, I actually been thinking, man, I want to make a video about this. Because it is a men's health issue. And we as men, we generally like, oh, no, we can't talk about that. We can't do anything with that, no. Oh, no. That's unmanly. No, it isn't. It's rough, yeah, but take care of your colon. I actually looked up colon surgeries, colonoscopies on YouTube. Several very interesting videos. Had one video where a guy was showing, a doctor was showing the colonoscopy he'd done. One guy just had a simple polyp, and they got some little rope hook thing that would hook around that thing, and sort of like a blowtorch would just cut it off, and then the little loop thing, the little lasso thing will pull it out. Another one showed a guy that had a cancerous polyp. It was bleeding and everything, and they snipped that sucker. I'm like, oh, man, that's why you need to go in for a colonoscopy, because can you imagine that in your rear end? Because your colon connects your large intestines to your rectum. So all of your, goes through the colon. It goes through the colon. And if that thing ain't working right, it's all covered in polyps and all sorts of nasty mess. Ugh. So I was like, man, I'm glad I went now. It was worth it. I can only imagine if I hadn't gone and things had been bad up in there. Oof. I had one polyp, which isn't too bad. It's probably been a whole lot worse. The other people have been a whole lot worse, but we'll see. I still haven't gotten a phone call from these people yet. I'll probably get one on Monday or Tuesday. I'm just hoping it wasn't cancerous or anything, because then I'll have to come back in every 3 to 5. They say if they don't find any problems every 10 years, maybe every 7 years, maybe every 5 years, whatever. I'm going to make it every 10 as best I can, because Jesus Christ, every 3 years going through this? 2 or 3 days of basically diarrhea? Not my thing, but it is what it is. Man, this video has gone up for 30 minutes. All right, folks, I'm feeling better. I've been feeling better ever since really the 11th. The 11th, and I was like, man, okay, I'm cool. You know, I went out and did some more shopping and did some other things. I guess there's always going to be a bit of a malaise afterwards. It's just the way it goes. But I felt like I needed to talk about this for all of the older guys in my audience and just sort of making a video record of certain points in my life. So I've had my first colonoscopy. I'm 46 years old. I guess if everything goes well as it should, next time I'll be making a video on this, I'll be 55, 56. Either way. All right then. Everybody take care and have a good day. Bye-bye.